Just jump on board with anyone that can qualify, and then just chill for a bit, and then we'll get them in the commentary booth.
Right, so JR and Morgan.
Yeah.
They're both invited them both.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Motive Racing for our last race of the season. This is going to be the boys going out on track now. Only so many are allowed to qualify, unfortunately, with the top part of our sprint race which has just happened, unable to qualify. We are just about to get our championship leaders into the commentary booth now. It does seem like JR has took the championship win. We've got in here now Motoring Morgan, obviously unable to qualify for our feature race this evening. How are you doing, mate? So what's your plan for the feature race? Obviously starting at the back, a very tight first sector. Are you going to push on and trying to get through everyone in the first corner, possibly be a crash maybe, or are you going to sit back and wait to see if you can slipstream someone? Yeah, well done, mate. Obviously, I had a very competitive season for the first season here at Motive. We look forward to seeing you in season 2, showing your pace again. Are you going to bounce back off this and hopefully get out in front for season 2? Yeah, well done, mate. Good luck for the feature race.
Yeah, have a good one.
So we just heard there from our second positioned championship driver at the moment, obviously unable to qualify due to his brilliant performance in race 1. Obviously, unfortunately dropped back on off the start line to I think 6th position, but then made his way back up into the top 5 and is now sitting in the pit box ready and waiting to go for the feature race.
Here we are on board with our second round qualifying leader so far, OMR, with a .305 second lead over second place, who is Malik. And now we see Intel moving up to second place with a .145 second gap between himself and our qualifying leader so far, Olimar. Now it's just a matter of time to see whether anybody else can try and top Olimar's time around the track at this second.
Yeah, obviously ALT's showing his pace throughout the season, currently sitting 3rd I think, A very consistent driver, often happy to help the boys out on track with setups or wheel settings. A very nice gentleman.
Oh yeah, one of the nicest people in all of racing. Down to earth lad. Always willing to just sit there and just talk to people, you know, to see how they're doing in general. Oh, as he goes off the track and back to the pits.
Yeah, he's currently sitting second, just 1/10 behind Ollie Leader on board with him now. Ollie currently, I think, slipstreaming, and possibly or being slipstreamed. I don't know which one it is at the moment. We'll wait for the camera to move.
No, he has been the one that he is the one that's been slipstreamed.
Ollie comes around the parabolic, and now will he be able to improve that lap time of a 54.8? Obviously, we saw a sub 54 in the first qualifying session. Andy doing a 53.9. So let's have a look now, ladies and gentlemen. Coming across the line, Ollie is able to improve that very minimally though. Only 2.3, 0.23 between our leaders at the moment.
Now it's just a matter of time to see whether anybody else can try and capitalise on the chance to try and improve their time upon Ollie's time. Right now, that's qualifying. It's just for the taking for anybody to try and improve. Here we go. Let's see if he can try and improve on that time. No, he can't. Oh, this looks like maybe a good lap. Oh, and still not being able to, unfortunately, tell. Oh, and
Yeah.
he went back to the pits. Let's see if we can jump on board with Intel and see how he's doing. Oh, Badger.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sort it out now. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the qualifying for our feature race this evening, the last race of the season here at Motive Racing, Ollie Moore sits on pole with a 54.7, not the fastest we've seen, but obviously the faster boys starting at the back. In second, Altal only 1/10 behind. Andy currently sitting on third. We have seen his pace this evening, obviously sitting on pole for our sprint race. Just behind him in fourth we have H2 Malik. In fifth, Eris Umbra, a driver coming up from tier 2 up to tier 1 for next season. Obviously just taking a trial drive this evening, showing these boys how it's done. Dycroc sitting in 6th, DJ Phil in 7th, and obviously all the other boys behind haven't been able to qualify.
Alright, now I'm going to, just in case anybody doesn't look at the chat, I'm going to go into the game chat and let them know.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're on board with Olimar, our pole sitter at the moment. Drivers just putting in their setups for this evening and their pit stop strategies. Obviously a mandatory pit is put in for this race just to change things up even more for you at home. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to comment below who you think is going to win this feature race. Obviously 36 laps of racing and a mandatory pit stop is in store for these drivers.
We will of course be keeping a close eye on who goes in and who does not go into their pit stop.
Yeah, I will keep my eye on that. I'll be taking screenshots throughout the evening to remind myself who's been in the pits.
Yeah.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, all cars are loaded in now. It does unfortunately look like our second place driver wasn't able to get his car there in time. The lights are about to go out, we are about to go green, ladies and gentlemen. We're underway here for the feature race at Motive Racing, the last race of the season. It looks like H2 Malik got a brilliant start there, sitting in 4th position. Andy unfortunately didn't get the best start. It does look like he's going to drop a few positions. Is Malik going to go up the inside? No, he is on the inside though for the next corner. Ollie on the inside now as we come onto the back straight shortly. Ollie out in front. Does look like the Andy has dropped back a few positions down to 4th, coming onto the back straight now. Ladies and gentlemen, the train of cars behind, as you can see, all these boys very safe drivers onto the back straight. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, our championship winner this evening. JR up to 7th position so far. We just saw Ollie getting sideways, as it looks like it's going to be 3 or even 4 wide onto the straight now. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, awesome racing from these drivers. We're 4 wide or even 5 wide onto the start finish. Wow. Wow.
That is spectacular racing from everybody involved in that line now.
Someone looks over it. Well, it might have been Swiss Tony there. I recognise that livery from the last race. Brilliant racing. Brilliant racing from these boys. Only on lap 2, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to stick around for the whole of this evening. So we're just pushing a little bit too much into the parabolica there, just catching the back of Jeeben. Fortunately both of them managed to get away with it. Just on the right there we see Andy moving up to 3rd position, and this whole pack chasing it down. So it does look like these drivers will not be taking a pit stop this evening due to the track, and unfortunately I did not put a mandatory pit on due to being hassled, so sorry about that, guys. It will still look like going to be a very competitive race. Oh, and someone manages to catch the back of another car. Very unfortunate there. A large group of cars all battling over the same piece of track.
Looks like it was Andy that hit into him there. Yeah,
very unfortunate. Andy drops down to 8th position now, so it does not look like he's got the best of luck this evening here at Monza Short. Further up the field though, we do have a battle still going on for the lead. Malik currently out in front with Ollie just behind. Modrin Morgan looks to have moved up for 3rd position at the moment as they start lap 4, ladies and gentlemen. Please comment who you do think is going to take the win. Let's jump back on board with the leaders. H2 Malik still out in front. There we go, a massive group of cars all chasing. We've got 6 cars all within a second at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is the pinnacle of racing here on Project Cars. Our Clio Cup very unfortunately coming to the end this evening for Season 1. We do have it back for Season 2. If you would like to join in 2 weeks' time on the grid, please sign up via our Discord server, which is on our Facebook, which is Motive Racing. You can find a link on there. We're just watching on board now at Ollie Moore all over the back of Modrin Morgan. These two have a brilliant friendship. And it looks like they're going to be 3 wide into the first corner. Ollie braking late there, very unfortunately. Pushes JR wide in the first corner. And enables Malik to go up the inside and get the lead back. There we see all cars getting around that first very tight and twisty sector safely. So it does look like it's going to be a 6-car battle for the win this evening. No cars taking pit stops. Just a flat out race. The first to cross the line after 36 laps without a penalty to change the standings will take the win, ladies and gentlemen. We have crowned our champion this evening already for the series, and JR Lock and Load currently sitting second on the right hand side of the track, taking the inside line into the first corner and now back in the lead. There we go. Only G just creeping his way back up to the front on the inside line there in 3rd position in that Monster Energy livery.
Spectacular racing from here from every single last driver on that track.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see these guys. Obviously they've been testing together throughout the week and sharing setups, and obviously it's proved very good for them to be having such a competitive race. JR Lock'n'Load looks to be getting away though at the front, 5/10 lead now. He won't want to be sticking around in this battle behind between these 6 drivers. Looks like we're 3 wide though in the background again, coming towards the finish line with only G in the middle of that little battle. He might get squeezed. There we go, we've got 2 cars connected there, one on G's bumper as well, and it looks like G gets turned. Do they manage to keep it though? Oh, very unfortunate there for whoever that was. I don't know who it was, it might have been... Oh, it's Malik. Oh, very unfortunate. He did get disconnected in the first race. And I've just seen a comment there from Bowie, 100 subscribers this evening. Absolutely brilliant to see this channel has grown. We are at the end of Season 1 now. So over the last 6 weeks we have grown massively. In the first week we did only have 2 tiers of racing in the GTEs. And now we've got 3 tiers. So obviously next season we do have 7 championships instead of 3. So we are looking for new drivers. And as I say, if you would like to join in, feel free to join our Discord server.
Oh, as looks like it's Ollie Moore that goes off of the track and into the wall again.
Yeah, very unfortunate from Ollie. We do know he does have that pace, but quite a few mistakes have been made about during this season from himself to lower him down the championship standings. He'll definitely be looking to improve in season 2, as he does have that new Fanatec wheel to help him out, but a lot more consistent driving needed from Ollie. He does have the pace, like I say.
Oh yeah, when you're on a racing wheel compared to a steering wheel, compared to a controller, you do tend to get that little bit more of an edge over anybody that can, could.
Oh, he just touches the grass on his
oh.
brakes. Very unfortunate. Puts him in the wall. That is one problem here at Monza Short. Obviously, the track isn't that wide, and trying to use as much track to get a run in these little cars as you can. He's just touched the grass on the outside on his brakes, and it's just slid him round.
Just like I was saying there before, that when you're on a steering wheel compared to a controller, you are a lot more limited in what you can do when it comes to any kind of corner. You are, also with steering wheel, you can turn it more. But with a controller, all you have to do is just turn the stick to the right, and your car doesn't turn anywhere near as fast.
Yeah, definitely. Even if around the parabolica there, you'll save a lot of tyre wear throughout this long of a race. Just keeping it consistent and not twitching on a controller, and also if you do have damage like suspension damage, you are able to hold your car in a straight line, obviously without it pulling to one side. So there is quite a few pros to having a wheel. Also quite a few cons though, as we've seen. Andy's wheel does like to shake like an earthquake. Whether that's because it's got it set up like that, I don't know, but at the moment we haven't seen him building sandcastles, as he's moved up to 3rd position now. So
I actually believe that Andy is using the Logitech G29, which I also use as well, and it does have a really bad...
Wait, can I just interrupt you there, Emo Guy? It does look like JR has dropped down to last position. So I don't know what's happened there. Motoring Morgan has taken his pit, so some of the boys have miscommunicated as to whether there is a mandatory pit or there isn't. I don't know whether JR looks maybe to have taken his mandatory pit himself. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe he's spun out. It doesn't look like he's got any damage at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on this as it does unfold. JR comes out in front of Motoring Morgan, so it does look like JR and Motoring Morgan the only drivers at the moment to take their pit. No other drivers have taken their pit. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put on the mandatory pit feature in this race, so...
Just a quick update from the comments from Bowie. There is going to be a mandatory pit stop now, according to himself and the other drivers.
Yeah, that's good to see the boys are communicating in the pits. Well, in the party chat or whatever, or in-game chat too.
And it looks like so far it is Falguest, Andy and Motor Morgan have all taken their mandatory pits.
Yeah, I think JR will have as well. Obviously he's at the back at the moment, and with Morgan just behind him. So this will be examined after the race as to whether everyone has done it. Well, it can also be shown in the stats. Obviously anyone 20 seconds in front of our leader after the pit stops are done, we will be able to tell. I haven't taken their pit stops. So we're just watching this battle now between Swiss Tony and Dark Rocks. Only 2 attempts between these boys. Swiss Tony unfortunately hasn't had the best evening. Running wide in a few corners and late on the brakes. Dark Rocks goes for his mandatory pit now. So it's left Swiss Tony out on his own. The only G and Dark Rocks currently, 2 drivers in the pits. Let's keep an eye on where those lot come out. Ollie and Malik look to have gone in the pits now as well. As it does sound like we do have an ambulance at Monza Short.
Yeah, that's what happens in Glasgow.
So there we go, Swiss Tony currently out in front on his own, but 14 seconds behind Eris Umbra. Swiss Tony hasn't taken his pit stop yet. We're about to start lap 14, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us here at Motive Racing, please feel free to like and comment Who do you think is going to win this race? Obviously JR's stolen the season away from Motoring Morgan this evening, and he's wrapped it up in fashion, finishing in the top 5, unable to qualify for this race, and he's currently sitting third after his mandatory pit stop, with Aris Umbra just a couple of seconds in front of him, who is going to be promoted from Tier 2. Aris Umbra has won Tier 2 of the Clio Cup this evening, which happened previous to this Tier 1, so if you would like to watch that, please feel free to have a look on our YouTube channel. Brilliant battle between 3 cars, which came down to the last lap. I'll let you find out what happened.
And of course, if you do enjoy what you see and you want to take part, and just enjoy a general sense of what's the word I'm looking for, competitive racing, then just feel free to go down below. Go to our Facebook page and have a look at our Discord. See what championships we have coming up for season 2 and sign up.
There we go. Swiss Tony now coming in for his mandatory pit stop. Where will it bring him out? Generally about 20 seconds, so it will bring him out, I'm guessing, around 6th, 2nd position. A brilliant pit stop there. Only lasted, I guess, about a second, as we hear Summer come past. JR coming past as well. We're just here now, Motoring Morgan. There goes Motoring Morgan. The only G comes past as well. I'll guess there, the next driver just gone past. So he comes out of the pit in 6th position with dyke rocks all over the back of him. Not bad of a pit stop there for Swiss Tony, as he has been midfield the whole evening. Currently out in front now, Aris Umbra, I think, hasn't yet taken his pit stop by the looks of it, being chased down by JR Lock and Load, our championship winner.
And it looks like DJ Filter is not having a good night tonight at all, as he is currently being chased down by the other speeder, that is Aris Umbra.
Yeah, very unfortunate. DJ Phil hasn't had the best evening, not showing his full potential this evening. Not on the pace at all, but I'm sure he'll bounce back from this, get a load of practice in the next 2 weeks. Set himself up well for next season.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll see a lot of potential from all of these drivers in Tier 1. It's just whether or not they can, it's nice setting, practice times and all that, but for me it's more about, how a certain person does in that particular moment of a race.
Yeah, definitely, mate. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, lap 17 we're on now. Currently our leader, Aris Umbra, I don't presume has taken his mandatory pit stop, with just behind JR Lock and Load, our championship winner. Unfortunately, we are on the last race of the championship this evening. We are going to go on a 2-week break for our drivers, but also our staff members putting in a lot of hard work throughout the season, trying to improve motive racing before we start season 2. We do have 4 new championships starting from tomorrow. We have the Dirt 2 Championship, where you can sign up, and there will be time trials on there for you to take part in. Also, we do have LMP2 coming and starting next season, as well as GT3s, and also a NASCAR Championship starting. So there's plenty to get involved in here at Motive Racing. As we say, please sign up if you want to.
Add a potential road car series as well. It just still try to work out a few things. May have that coming up. Yeah,
definitely. And we do have in the plans a couple of endurance races or different sort of races in the off season, just to keep the drivers on the toes, which will be announced in the next couple of days. So feel free to like our Facebook page, where most information and news does get announced on there. As we just watched then, Aris Umbra did take his mandatory pit stop. It has dropped him down to 10th, though, unfortunately just down behind Malik, so there's going to be a little battle going on now for 9th position. Back up at the front though, JR and Motoring Morgan do look to be battling it out for the win this evening. Obviously them pair first and second in the championship.
Well, it looks like Malik has incurred a 1-second penalty while in 9th place.
Yeah, very unfortunate. As we can see as well, the best lap times this evening are coming from...
It looks like
Paris
it may...
Umbra has done a 55.4, and also Dycox has done a 55.4.
Yeah,
So it does look very
no
close
good
at the
reason.
moment. Obviously, this track being short, all the boys know the way around very well. So as we saw in qualifying for the sprint race, all drivers are out there, and there was less than 1/10 between our top four. Let's join back on board with our leaders on the 20th lap and see what's happening at the front. They're coming around towards the end now. JR Lock and Load leading the way with Motoring Morgan just behind. This is how the championship looks at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the back straight they go once more. The only G just in the background there with that Monster Energy livery, wanting to chase down these boys, get one last win for this season. Only 3 seconds behind he is now. If these boys start battling, that lead will come down massively. So Morgan, I think, would just be happy to sit behind at the moment. We've still got 15 laps left of this race. JR going defensive out of the last corner into the first corner by the looks of it.
It's a really good battle going on for first place between Motoring Morgan and JR. Back here on board with our top 2 racers right now, Motoring Morgan and JR, and it looks like we have the only G slowly sneaking up behind those two, possibly looking to get into that battle for first place.
There we see that gap coming down marginally between JR Lockaload and Motor Morgan, but it does look like the MG unfortunately has got a penalty as we come towards the end of lap 24, ladies and gentlemen. Only 12 laps to go now. 1 second penalty for the LG, so he will be looking to catch these boys and get away if he can. Coming on to the 25th lap now.
Technology, of course, is starting to try and close that gap. Let's just see if you can try and, you know, cut those corners as fast as possible. Just bring it up to where it feels like it should be. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to comment down below of who you think will win this race right now.
What are your thoughts? Maybe obviously JR is showing his pace, or is Morgan just sitting there trying to save his tyres for the last few laps?
Well, I feel like it could be anybody's race at the minute between those two, because they are both, you know, they're just been so competitive, so tight. You know, there's very little margin of error between them. I don't think I could, you know, rattle it down to one person at this point.
Yeah, less than 1/10 between those pair at the moment. JR going defensive into the Parabolica. Morgan, it looks like, just happy to sit there at the moment.
And I'm not going to say out the previous comment, as I do not want to jinx anybody's race at this moment in time.
There we go. It looks like Motor Morgan's happy to take the lead now. On to lap 27. We have a change at the front. Motor Morgan coming onto the back straight in front of JR Lock and Load. The LG chasing them down though, 1.5 between those pair now. The LG will get in that slipstream coming down this back straight. Will try to chase them and get out in front and get rid of that 1 second penalty to be 1 second in front. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, 2 wide into the first corner now. JR has the inside, so he gets that done. He's going to stay defensive though on Motor Morgan. He doesn't want Morgan to get that pass now. Going through the first sector, onto the back straight now. The only G looking to catch up to these boys, happy for them to battle. Oh, and only G runs wide onto the back straight, very unfortunate. He might get another penalty, but he is onto the back of these boys, only 8/10 behind now. He will be able to slipstream and get up to these boys.
Well, only G has closed that gap, and he is now inside of that battle for first place.
Yeah, so as we saw throughout the race, these two at the front are happy to just sit with each other, and as soon as you start losing that flow and pace on the race line, you can see what happens. G has managed to catch up nearly 2 seconds on these boys, only a couple of laps, so we're going to enter the last 6 laps shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Our 3 leaders now coming round the Parabolica once more, with Joe happy to just sit behind these boys, let them battle, cool his tyres down a bit hopefully. JR now leading the way on the back straight into the parabolica we go again. It doesn't look like Andy has had the best race, and it looks like he's retired, just trying to find him on the timing sheets. So our usual commentator and league coordinator isn't racing, unfortunately, as these boys go too wide across the line once more. JR leading the way, Motoring Morgan next to him, the only G just sitting behind at the moment. He won't want to be sitting there much longer as we're about to start lap 31. The only G pushing Motoring Morgan up the inside of JR Lock and Load. Motoring Morgan backs out, very safe driving there to let them get in front through the first corner now. Motoring Morgan still out in front, these boys bumper to bumper all the way.
And of course, with any kind of bow on any kind of track, it will slow you down a tremendous amount, and you're just not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. The only G now will need these pairs to start battling it after he's got out in front, so he can get some fast laps in and hopefully get that 1 second gap, as we see G now pushing again. Motoring Morgan will want to do this to try and get Motoring Morgan out in front on the inside again. Will only G manage to do it as well? As he does so, he won't be on the race here, he won't be on the inside though for the next corner. Will he be able to get a fast line out of this corner now? Onto the back straight we go. Unfortunately, Morgan runs wide and lets JR pass.
And of course, even if the only G does finish in first in this kind of position that the rest are in, it's not going to matter much, because either way,
There we are, ladies
he's
and
still going to
gentlemen,
be
3 wide
first.
into the first corner. Motoring Morgan the last to touch his brakes. It enables though JR to go up the inside now. JR our leader and our championship winner. We found this out this evening in the sprint race. Phenomenal race from these 3 drivers. It does look like Swiss Tony is mowing the lawn down the back straight as he comes back on the track now. So we're about to start lap 34. I would say, who do you think is going to take this? But at the moment in time, I don't have a clue. I don't know about you, email guy.
No, I still feel like it's going to be anybody's race at this point, especially with how close they are sticking together.
Yeah, definitely. Even though G has got that 1 second penalty over his head, as we saw in the first race, a touch of wheels from the leaders. These cars are very light, being only little, I think 1 litres or 1.2. They do bounce off each other pretty well, and most of the time end up in a wall, so a little touch from these boys could send them flying and enable G to get away and take the win happily. There we go, we're on board now with the only G coming into the parabolica just behind Motoring Morgan. It looks like JR's dropped out of third at the moment, might be wanting to save those tyres coming to the end stages of this race. They might be going 3 wide across the line now as they're chasing Motoring Morgan. On to lap 35 we go, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think is going to take this one? Drop your comments below. Into the first corner we go again. Motoring Morgan going defensive. It looks like only G's next to JR. JR will be on the attack out of the next corner. He's got the race line now. Motoring Morgan trying to get away from these boys, pushing as hard as he can all over the track there. You can see using as much track as he can. 5 tenths in front now, just behind the only G, sitting on the bumper next, side by side, ladies and gentlemen, as you see there in the picture. Side by side it is the only G. Only G gets in front. They're very safe driving there from Swiss Tony, letting these boys pass into the parabolica once more. Well, brilliant racing. These boys are changing positions corner by corner, but they're doing it safely. This is what we want from a tier 1 lobby emo guy.
Sorry?
I was saying this is what we want from a Tier 1 race lobby. Very safe overtakes.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a phenomenal racing setting, and a fantastic example for everybody else, that's thinking about joining it or just wants to just sit and watch some good races.
Yeah, for everyone watching at home, they have fulfilled their... well, they've had a brilliant night of watching. If you have tuned in for both races, you will know that the Tier 2 was exactly the same as this, with 3 cars battling it out all the way. We're on the last lap now, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to take this one? Motoring Morgan out in front into the parabolica. The only G just behind, all over the back of Motoring Morgan, but the only G does have that penalty over his head. JR's looking to go wide as he cuts back in now. The only G is being used for his slipstream. It doesn't look like there's going to be a change in position now, and the only G is trying to come around on the outside of the... JR's coming around the outside of the only G. JR's using that slipstream. Will JR get it? Wow.
No, it got...
Motoring Morgan takes the win, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for these 3 drivers. Very exciting race this evening. Wow, absolutely phenomenal. Motoring Morgan takes it by only milliseconds there. As we're just watching now, the final few drivers about to come across the line to finish Season 1 here at Motive Racing. Please feel free to like and subscribe and stick around for Season 2, about to start in 2 weeks. In the meantime, we have special events in the next 2 weeks happening, and a few things to be announced yet. DJ Phil just coming across the line now. Not the best evening of racing for himself.
He's not coming across the line, he's got another lap to go.
No, they don't. As long as he comes across the line after the leader, it doesn't matter. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. A phenomenal evening of racing here at Monza Short. 0.006. Wow. JR, you took the victory in the feature race and wrapped up the season. How are you feeling, mate?
Did I win the feature? I thought
yes. Well, yeah, I think that's the closest race finish I've ever seen, mate. 0.006. Wow. And honestly, mate, I thought our race at Hockenheim was close, and looking at that, wow, and a phenomenal race.
Laps. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the tyres are going. I thank God I put a bit more fuel in this time to actually give the boys a race. But while I've got the eyes and ears of the audience, I'd like to thank Motoring Morgan, the Only G, Olimar Diecross, Falgues, Aries, Hammock, Swiss Tony, DJ Phil Green, Andy, and RTJ for coming in tonight. The racing fair, it's absolutely brilliant, and a massive props to the pair of you that commentate in this. From everybody at Motoring Racing, I'm so pleased, and I'm so proud to have won the Tier 1. Thanks, boys.
Yeah, it's glad to have you along, mate. Have you got anything to say about your GT3 League happening next season? Obviously, you're going to be the coordinator. Give it a shout out, let us know what's happening.
Yeah, well, much the same again, the GT3 League. We've got a lot of sign-ups for it, so there'll be like 3 or 4 tiers, but I'm persuading everybody that's listening, if they want to get involved with Motive Racing, want to be out on track, get your name called live, come and join the Discord, totally free, 100%. Time trials are open now for Season 2 with all of our series. Join the link in the Discord and get involved. Once again, thanks for me, and thank you everybody that took part tonight.
Yeah, there we are, and JR just promoting the GT3 League. We do have starting in Season 2, along with the LMP2 League, NASCAR League and Dirt Rally League. So, after our feature race, JR did take the win there, coming around the outside at the end of the Parabolica to win by a very minimal amount, 0.006, taking the victory away from Motoring Morgan, who looked like he had it sorted going into the Parabolica. Unfortunately, the only G did have that 2-second penalty, and it looks like it would have been less than 1/10 between those lot if he didn't have that penalty. But he still managed to finish third. Coming in fourth, Ollie Moore. Next up we have Diecrox, then Falguest, Eris Umbra, H2 Malik, Swiss Tony, DJ Phil in 10th, our last finisher. Andy looks to have retired, and RDJ looks to have got disqualified, so I don't know what happened there. He might not have readied up in time, but a phenomenal race this evening here at Motive Racing.
It looks like Motor Morgan did actually win. We've got a picture came up into the chat. It was a Motor Morgan win.
Yeah, that'll be something that'll definitely be looked into. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned on our Facebook page if you'd like to find out what happens with that and more news which is to come. But yeah, a brilliant season of racing for our first season at Motive. Glad to have you in the commentating box. I'm sure you'll be around for season 2 as well, Emo Guy. We have a lot of things coming up, as you say. What are your final words for season 1, mate?
It's phenomenal to be part of it, and I'm just looking forward to everything that comes in the future.
Yeah, glad to have you along, mate. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and we will join you for season 2. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen at home.